Here because Grant Sabatier has been with us for the hour, and we promised we'd get into his personal finance secrets that helped him turn the $2.26 he had in his bank account into $1 million fortune in just 5 years. The journey is documented in his new book, Financial Freedom, A Proven Path to All the Money You Will Ever Need. I have it right here. And Grant, I'd say it's too good to be true if I didn't read it already. But to achieve this, you took some pretty drastic steps. I mean, we're talking about living at home and then moving into a very, very small apartment. Is that what is necessary?
It's definitely not what's necessary. So the whole idea with money is whenever you're spending it, there's always going to be a trade-off. And so in the book, I talk a lot about, we always think about money as a unit of exchange, but why don't we think about it as a unit of time? So money is infinite. You can always go out and make more money. You can get a part-time job, you can get a raise, but you can never get back your time. This moment is really all there is. And so the idea is we're often trading our time for money. But the biggest myth in the entire financial world is that money is time and time is money. Time is so much more valuable. And so I actually, in the book, there was a huge mindset shift for me when I realized that every $100 that I was saving, I was buying a week of freedom in the future. And then I started breaking down my life in money in units of time, and I realized, oh, if I could save 50% of my income, I could have enough money to retire in 10 years or less. And the thing is, in the book, I don't tell you what to buy or not what to buy. You can do it. Well, if you want to buy the new $70,000 car, that's up to you. Mm-hmm. Just realize that you probably traded a year and a half of your life working to buy that car, and not even a year and a half of your life that you're never going to get back, but also because you didn't invest that money instead, you're going to have to work 7 more years in the future. And if you say it's worth it to you, that's completely fine. That's up to you.
You also talk a lot about adding income streams. I think at one point in the book you had about, what, 13 streams of income? I mean, I don't know if necessarily everyone can do that, but you explain, I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be 13 different full-time jobs, just different ways to add a little bit more money that you're bringing in.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did the math.
What were some of those anyway?
I'm curious.
I'll get to it. So I did the simple math, and I was making $50,000, and I was like, even saving 50% of my income, it's going to take me 17 years to retire. So I was like, there's a limit to how much I can cut back, but there's not a limit to how much I can make. Mm-hmm. And so I started with my full-time job. Most people think they need a raise and deserve a raise, and in fact they do because they're not getting paid their market rate, but then they don't even go and ask for one. So I have a chapter in there, Hack Your 9 to 5. I've had employees before, so I tell you everything that your boss has never told you, the things I wish my employees would have made the case. But then the simple idea, it's never been easier in history to make money. We have access to high quality information, low cost investing options, so many different ways to make money online and offline, that side hustling, anything that you make money doing outside of your full-time job, if you use that money to invest, and that's what I did. I had 13 different income streams. Everything from flipping Volkswagen camper vans to, I had a moving company at one point. I was writing white papers. When I was making $300,000 one year, I'd watch my neighbor's cat for $60 a weekend. And literally,
just always hustling.
Yeah, he'd give me the $60. I'd walk right down to the bank, I'd deposit it, and I'd get right on my app and invest it immediately.
But obviously, I mean, you've got plenty of advice, great advice for everyone. But when you were at that point of $2.25, what do you think you were doing wrong at that point? Was it a mentality that you had wrong, or what was the problem there?
I think it was a lot of things. So I bounced around a number of jobs after college. I just never could find the right fit. So as a 24-year-old, the world was like, what's your purpose? What's your why? I didn't know. And a lot of people don't know, and that's okay. And so I ended up back at my parents because I ran out of money. Mm-hmm. And so I had to start thinking, I looked at my skills and I was like, I don't know how marketable these are. So I really started thinking about skills as future currency. I was like, I need a skill that I can monetize. And so I started building a skill. I started teaching myself Google AdWords and digital marketing because I knew that jobs were growing in that area. And then I had the big mindset shift where once I realized that whenever you're working, you're trading your time for money, my takeaway was, okay, I need to try to make as much money as I can for my time. And then the other thing, I was 24, I had time on my side. We all know compounding, you want to invest early and often.
It helps.
But early and often, and then as much as you can. Because I actually figured out, and this is the crazy thing in the book, I needed less money to retire at 30 than I would at 65.
As long as you can get it done,
right?
If you can get it, if you can reach that $1 million mark like you did by 30, it's very, very impressive.
Got to stay focused.
And I think it's a big accomplishment, and it's all there.
The last thing I wanted to add is that I realized that even at the end of the journey, and there's 7 levels of financial freedom, you don't have to have millions of dollars or try to retire early to get like 90% of the benefits. Even just if you're living paycheck to paycheck, saving 6 months of expenses or a year of expenses, you're going to get so much of that freedom and that time and space.
Yeah,
that you really crave.
Now you've got a lot of it with all that saved up. So congrats, I think, is in order.
I appreciate that.